What is up, everyone? Welcome to another amazing episode of the Client Spotlight series. I have my incredible client and friend, Lana, here, who is going to be sharing with you what she did to skip all the low ticket world of offers and really just leap right into a premium coaching business model. And she started attracting premium clients. She just finished her launch. She's got new students into her mastermind. And so many people think, oh my God, it has to take 3 years for me to step into this new version or this kind of business model. And Lana just did 3 months with us. And here she is telling you her story. So Lana, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Let everybody know who you are and what you do so that they have a little bit of context.
Okay, well, I'm Lana Manikowski, and I help success-driven women thrive and feel fulfilled, even though they didn't have the children they always dreamed of. So that was my story. I tried desperately to become a mom. My husband and I went through 7 years of infertility treatments, which never resulted in having a baby. So I sat there just wanting to feel better. I was always successful. I was very goal oriented, career oriented, and it was the first time in my life I felt paralyzed by the fear I felt about my inability to become a mom.
So good.
So,
Thank you so much for sharing that. Really, I just love that everybody has such a different background in all the masterminds, and your story is so personal. And you are a coach who lived it through first. And there are different types of coaches, right? Coaches who are just experts at the subject, they haven't gone through the experience, but they're experts at it. You have the expertise from having lived it through and helping others as well. So, you add such a beautiful layer of variety to the people who are in the program. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to join Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind specifically, and also where were you at in your business at the time? What did your life look like, and why did this mastermind make the most sense to you?
okay. Well, I was considered, I guess, a newbie coach. I was maybe 8 months out of my coach certification training. And I thought all of a sudden I'd, be a certified coach and then the clients would just be knocking on my door.
Yeah.
And, I did get some clients because I have a podcast and people had been listening through the podcast, but it just wasn't at the level that I wanted it to be. And you and I had met at a coach event, and
Yeah.
I felt like we had this connection across
Yeah.
the room. I felt like you gravitated towards me maybe as your avatar, as somebody who is high level, who is, success driven. And you told me about your program. And when the next time you had a launch, I was on your email list. I joined your 5 day launch that you had done. And I just really resonated with what you had to say because I, I really was like yearning for an opportunity to grow my practice, but not do it alone. I also have a high level corporate job. So I don't necessarily have the time to spend, 24/7 on my coaching business. So I wanted to align myself with somebody who had the right tools and had a methodology to get me there.
So good, so good. And let's talk a little bit about your desire to really just not be in the low ticket world. Because tell us a little bit more about that. So, because of your job, you had limited amount of time, and so
Yeah.
you can't really be serving 100 clients at $17 or $100. You know what I mean? So, tell us a little bit about your thinking behind that, because I think you will give permission to a lot of new coaches who want to have more of a premium business model, but maybe they're just not giving themselves permission to do so because they think that, oh, well, I'm just new. You're going to
Yep.
give them a lot of new perspective.
Yeah, well, I think that I have a lot of value to teach, and a lot of clarity to offer my students. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, is it bad of me to want to make money from my coaching practice? But then I think about the investment I made for my coach certification. I spent $21,000 out of my own pocket to become a certified coach because I learned tools from coaching that I never heard anyone else talk about. And I know, and I tell this to my students all the time, once you learn the tools that I teach, I don't want you to keep paying me the rest of your life. Like, I'm giving you something that not only will help you with your infertility journey, but will help you in so many other ways. So for me, it's a one-time investment. And so for me to charge the prices that I wanted to charge wasn't from a place of feeling like I wasn't an authentic person. It was from a place of service that
Yeah.
here I'm creating so much for them that they can now take on the next, you know, decades of their lives by using the tools that I teach them once.
So good. I love that mentality, and I hope that everyone who's watching this can really soak that up, because that is really premium thinking. Is really seeing your own value and not. And a lot of people don't see that in the beginning, and so that's what we support them with, and really expanding your capacity to see your own value. So, love that so much. Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about what happened inside of the container and what made you, well, part of it was what made you decide that Magnetize was really, really the place for you, but also what happened when you started. So like you came in because you wanted to clarify your message. Tell us about why you thought that was important, and what happened when you joined. Like, you know, you had a journey where people were coming to you and telling you that your message was different. It wasn't clients yet, but it was your friends. So there was a lot of transformation that happened before the clients started just actually paying. And so tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that journey so people can see the timeline.
Well, what I really liked about Magnetize and Monetize is there was the base, I don't want to call it a basic offering because I think there's so much value, but I chose to do the VIP offering
Yeah.
because of the elevated number of contacts that I had with you, with your copy coach, and with me having a schedule that wasn't geared all towards coaching. I knew that I wanted to have sort of that higher level of interaction so that I could focus my time. And when I was focusing on my coaching practice, I knew that it would be greater bang for my buck to invest in the VIP experience with you, which
That's right.
I re-signed for the second one. So anyone who's
Yeah.
thinking about that, you need to think about the VIP because for me, it got me to where I wanted to be so much quicker. Um, so as far as the container itself, and I loved our cohort coming together every week, having a private Facebook group where we could share our wins, share ideas, ask for help, ask for feedback. It was so wonderful to have that. And I think the support was bar none, like more than I expected. Because I had looked at, like a lot of people do, they come out of coach training, they think they're going to do this free course over the weekend and all of a sudden they're going to be able to clarify their message, but there's a lot of revisions that are done, and it was great and liberating for me to be able to like put ideas up and have feedback and have your team constantly responding to me and giving me sort of like ideas to think about. So did I answer your question okay?
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
great. So, let's talk about the timeline to attract the client. So, like, how did you get these clients? What happened? Because most new coaches think they're not. Where are the premium clients? They feel a lot of doubt around being able to reach premium clients. And so, tell us a little bit about what your thoughts were, the evolution of you going from like, can I really do this premium thing, to actually living and breathing it and having a premium business model as a newer coach. So, what was the timeline? You know, what was the work that you put in to now create that result? You just had a launch. Like, tell us a little bit about the nitty gritty
Yeah.
of what happened behind the scenes of you creating these results.
Well, I think a lot of it was through the modules in Magnetize and Monetize. There's a lot of framework that you could just insert whatever it is you're working on. So you offer a lot of the value right there in the modules. So for me, I just followed along with those modules and I trusted you as my coach to say, you know what, I don't need to overthink this. Like clearly this woman has been helping people, you know, make thousands and some even millions. So why would I even want to question whether this is the right thing for me? So I just sort of went with my gut and said, okay, if Juliana's done it this way, I'm just going to try it. But you also always encouraged us, like, you don't have to do it your way, which I like too. It wasn't like, you know, if I veered off and wanted to try something, I wasn't supported. But for me, I really wanted to follow your proven track record. As far as my launch goes, prior to joining Magnetize, I had a couple like $300 a month 6 coaching sessions for 300, like things like that, which, I think is important for us to do. We have to get our confidence
Totally.
as coaches. And so if that's where you're at in your coaching practice, totally fine. But for me, I knew I wanted to make coaching more of a prominent part of my income. And so in order to do so, I had to figure out how to be very clear on my message. So that's one of the things in module 1 we worked on was, clarifying your message. Who do you help? What are their pain points? What are the things that they're seeking to grow from? You also had some great ideas to go in Facebook groups, not to fish for clients and be one of those type of, people who's trying to pick off somebody's following, but to say, hey, I'm looking to clarify some information. Are you willing to sit down and interview with me? Ask pointed questions. So that was really helpful to me. And so when it came time for me to create my own launch plan, I followed your methodology as well. I got more comfortable through, I want to say it was module 6, maybe, about how to host a webinar. So
Yeah.
something around, just let people know who I was, what I do, see me on camera, let them know how I can help them. So when it came time for me to launch, I just felt like I was so much more prepared. So I just had 3 new clients for my mastermind sign up this week.
Ah,
And
so
I know
fun.
it's so exciting. And even like my coach friends have reached out and said, what are you doing? Like I've seen like this shift in you. And it was all because magnetize and monetize.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Yeah.
And we have, this is just the beginning. This is just so exciting because we're just like
Yes.
literally getting started. Oh my
Yes.
God, I love it. Is there anything that surprised you about the coaching that we can give people a little bit of a sneak peek into? Because you see the sales page and you had met me, but you didn't know what the program was like inside. So if you were to give people who give a little glimpse of what it's like to be in the program, what it's like to get coached by me, what it's like to get coached by the coaches inside him, how often I coach, like how did you feel being a client inside of the program? What is that coaching experience like so that they can really like get a little vibe?
Well, I found it to be very much supportive. So it's not just Juliana, it's your whole team. So if I had a tech question, if I had a copy revision question, things like that, there was always someone that I could reach out to that responded to me. Because one thing I wasn't prepared for was the robustness and the high quality of information. So as someone new coming into the program, personally, I felt a little overwhelmed. Like there's all this being offered to me and I didn't know exactly like how to navigate it. So I got in touch with your assistant and they talked me through how to effectively use the Facebook group, how to do
Yeah.
copy revisions. So a lot of people, I think, at least me, I wasn't expecting that much information that I couldn't navigate it on my own. But once I got a little introduction from your team, it was like, oh, this is like, I couldn't wait to
Yeah.
just log in and dive in into the next module and to put my copy coaching revisions up there. So that's the other thing, to have somebody on your team who understands how to write copy in a way that clarifies your message and attracts your premium clients. To me, that to have that resource every day to put something into our Facebook group and get an edit or a revision change, I was like, that's worth its money in gold, even if I didn't have the modules.
Right.
So it's just, it was so much more than I expected.
Yeah.
And even making the investment I made in the VIP part of your program, like it even exceeded my expectations.
Oh my God, so good, so good, amazing. So, is there anything else that you would love to share with people as it relates to you going first and making that investment and feeling like you're worth it and your business is worth it, your future is worth it, especially for new coaches or newer coaches, or just really anyone who's watching this video? Maybe they already been in business for 4 years, right? The fear, the resistance that might come up still happens no matter what. And so what would you say to somebody who maybe is feeling the pull to join and also feeling the resistance to, go for it?
Well, I think for me, mine comes down to the women that I serve. So, of course, I want to make money and I'd love to have premium clients, but my first reason I became a coach was because I know that there's so many women out there that are trying to deal with what their future is going to look like without being a mother. And I have them in line in my sight line when I think about why I do things like this. So the quicker and more clearly I can communicate with them, that means that they're getting out of this pain point of trying to navigate what their future is going to look like without children. So for me, I'd like to just say to the coaches out there or somebody who offers a service, like think about not necessarily what you're taking from it, but what you're giving to your community. And when you really think about clarifying so that the person that's sitting out there not knowing where to go next, that they know a you exists, is they want to know that you're there. Like they're looking for what you have to offer. So when you don't put the investment in yourself, you can't help them invest in themselves. So I see myself as being able to be a figure of service to so many people more quickly and more clearly. So that's really what drives me. And for me, that's why I made that investment. It wasn't because I wanted to see the zeros on my checking account, continue to increase, although that's a beautiful thing too.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any reason to be ashamed of that. But when you enter Magnetize and Monetize from a true desire to serve your community, you won't be disappointed.
That is so good. Oh my God, that like literally, I felt that all over my body. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I truly believe that. Yeah.
I've never heard anyone really describe it that way. That was so beautiful. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, for women, the women that I treat when, I went through fertility treatments at some of the top fertility clinics in the world. And when we finished our treatment and we found out that we couldn't become moms, no one even followed up with like a recommendation for a therapist. No one offered me the resources. And I thought, if I'm somebody who is so resourceful and used to kind of, being a problem solver and fact finder, if I was this like frozen in my life, I can't imagine how many other women are searching for those resources. So that's really what drives me every day.
Oh my God, I love it. And that's why you're such an amazing coach. And your success is just inevitable because you come from that place. So,
Yes.
oh, it's just not transactional. It's really coming from service. And that is just so beautiful. So, thank you so much for being here, Lana. This has been so beautiful, so inspiring. And where can people find you? If anyone is really curious about your work, how can they reach out to you? Where can they find you?
Well, I have a podcast. It comes out weekly. You have to search all 5 words. It's called the So Now What podcast. So it talks about, so what's next in your life when things don't go as though you planned. Also on Instagram, I'm at lana.manikowski. And then my website, which I forgot to add, was, just designed because of Magnetize and Monetize, because you guys
That's
helped
right.
me through my resources. How did we forget to talk about
How do we?
website edits? So it's lanamanikowski.com.
So good. Amazing. And I'm going to tag you here on Facebook just so that people can click on your name and reach out to you. So thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else that you want to offer, that you want to share, that's on your heart, that you want to tell the people about the program, about your experience, or about anything that's really coming through?
Yeah, just like stop wasting your time with these $97 offers and these free downloads, and just the time that you're wasting to help serve your community is it's not worth the money that you think you're saving, because really if you make the investment and you're in Magnetize and Monetize and you have a focused roadmap, like you can't go wrong. Like there's absolutely nothing that's going to prevent you from getting what you want out of this program.
Oh my God, so good. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being here. And everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you later today with another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.